Hey Akhil, you come from a very diverse work background. You've even had a business of your own. So, what are some learnings that you've had that you bring to your current job?
With business also comes the ownership, which a lot of people don't talk about. When you are running a business, the profit is yours, the loss is yours, and the problems are yours. At the end of the day, you have to deal with it. There's no way out. And that's what I learned from working at the manufacturing industry that I owned. In day to day life, when I'm working on different tasks, I try to work on them as they are my own. I make sure that at the end of the day, I'm giving my best output possible. Running a business teaches you resilience, problem solving, and a sense of ownership. And that is something that I carry forward in my work.
We've known you as a person who's always doing new things. What motivates you to do these new things?
I just love doing those things. This is something that gives me happiness. When I come across something that looks cool or something that is new, it's very fascinating for me to get into the process of learning it. The process is from not knowing something to knowing something. And after that, creating something. I might create something aesthetic or something that is also functional and useful. So, there's a drive to build something with functionality. There's a drive to see results. And that is something that I really love about this process. So I just keep doing it. It might help me in future, it might not, but it's just sheer joy that I enjoy.
How do you use these skills or tools that you learn in the most effective manner?
Let's look at it from a different perspective. When it comes to riding a bike, when someone tries to learn it for the first time, there are different factors they are considering. They are scared. They are constantly thinking about the mechanics, how to apply the brake, how to use the clutch, how to accelerate. And there comes a point where you just go out to buy some groceries. You're not going to think about riding the bike, you're going to think about buying things. That is the scale of mastery that you have achieved, where you're not thinking about how to ride the bike. Similarly, when it comes to tools that we use professionally while designing interfaces, let's say Figma, it's an amazing tool. And if you're going to design something on Figma, and if you're constantly going to think how to use Figma, it's going to put some cognitive load, and that's going to stop your creativity. In the world of design or art, we have a thing called state of flow. And you can achieve that state of flow with different techniques. How I do it is by first mastering the tool that is Figma. Up to that extent where I don't need to think about any shortcuts or where certain tool is. I set my Figma files in a certain way so that everything is accessible and not confusing to me, so that I can just get engrossed into the design process. Now, this is something that works for me. Something else might work for you. Some people design their desk in a certain way, set their environment in a certain way, or some people listen to binaural beats. So, this is something that works for me, and I think you have to find out what works for you best.
So, according to you, what makes a good designer?
As designers, we produce a lot of artifacts and interfaces, and our work doesn't end when we hand it over to engineering team. It actually ends when we ship products, and sometimes it continues even after that. And during this process, we might face a lot of difficulties, which might be related to engineering team pushing us back, or it might be related to budget or changes in timeline. And in all of these scenarios, as designers, I have to make sure that the design stays confined within the constraints. I have to make sure that the thought process that has gone behind a particular design stays there, while also finding solution to the current issues. So that is where being resourceful comes in handy. You might have to send the assets in a different format. You might have to teach engineering team that this is something that can be done. You might have to learn something from them so that you could make the small changes in your design. And I think it's a really necessary skill. Now, This skill is not only personal, it's also being resourceful in terms of people. I'll give you a simple example. As designer, there might be a possibility that I have to design an interface by including some kind of animation in it. Now, I'm capable to do that up to certain extent. But when it comes to a complex animation, I might have to learn it, but there might be a deadline that I have to consider in my mind. In that particular case, what I can do is I'll go to a team member who is expert in animation. I'll ask that person to be on board on this project. I will convince him that this is the priority, and I have to finish it by the end of the day, and I'll take his help because for my project, what's more important for me is quality of standard that I've set it. And to do that, I will do anything, and I'll take help of someone, or I will learn from someone, or I will teach myself to do it. Whatever works. I think that's where resourcefulness comes in handy.
So, why is Canvas a good fit for you?
There are many reasons, but one particular incident that I remember clearly is my interview process. So obviously they asked me a lot of technical questions, and one thing that I was not feeling very confident about was my recent past experience, which was my manufacturing industry. I was pretty damn sure that, like any other company, Premankan and Dev Pratim will ask me, what was your past designing experience? It was in freelancing, but not as a full time designer. Along with some technical skills, they also asked me about my manufacturing experience, how I dealt with problems, how did I run it. And they respected me as an individual who has worked in a different sector altogether. And I felt that they respected that experience. And I loved that particular thing from that interview. And that is something that sticked close to my heart. And now it's been 2 years I've been working with Canvas. The way I perceived Canvas as a company, it's still the same. There is no difference. Another thing that I love about Canvas is their focus on excellence and continuous growth. They encourage people to learn. And I'm a person who loves learning on and improving on everyday basis. So it fits well within the way I work. So I think that's the reason.